Hello. Welcome back to another video of Dan with his iPad. Now, we're going to go through the maths behind why clinics that run offers usually are more successful. Because if you kind of look at the entire UK chiropractic, osteopathy, physio space, the clinics that usually are generating the most revenue, which is what we'll class as like winning, you are running some sort of offer. I was on a call with someone yesterday. I was trying to explain this because they were like, I don't want to run offers. And I was like, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to like to work with us. We don't have to run offers. But there is actually good reason behind running offers. Now, I did record a reel on this. It was like a minute long. But I think with me, my iPad, my pencil, hopefully I can explain this to a very, very good degree. Because it's kind of a slightly complex concept to people, and it's even myself, like it's not going to be the most smooth process me going through this, but if you stick with me, I think it will really help your understanding of the way I personally view and what the top clinics in the UK also view offers. So let's dive in. Now, firstly, I think it's going to be worth doing some definitions. So we've obviously got the definition of CAC. Now, I think if you've watched any of my videos, you've heard me say the word CAC before, which is cost to, and I always put my foot in it here because acquire is not my strong suit. Cost to acquire a customer. Don't know why the word acquire, it's not going in my head. So you've got CAC, and then you have LTV, okay? So I've already spoken about this concept before. It's nothing new, but it's because the reason I bang on about this so much is because it's the most important metric in business, really. And this is lifetime value, okay? Now, these are the two metrics that really is going to dictate why we're like, okay, let's run offers. Now, let's imagine we've got a practice. Let's do the numbers I was doing with the people I was on the call with yesterday. So you have two options. So I'm just going to go like this. And you've got option A, which is doing it for £80 your initial consultation, okay? Keep on accidentally rubbing things out. Option B is £59 initial consult, okay? This can include treatment or not, it doesn't really matter for the demonstration. So let's imagine that your CAC is, just to throw a number out there, £50. So your CAC with this is £50 for the demonstration, okay? Now, let's imagine your CAC for option B is £35. Okay. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, well, if we do, let's do this down here. If we do 80 minus 59, that equals 21. So there's a £21 loss going on here, okay? Every single time you get someone in. But then if we do your CAC, so this is what your loss is. Then if we do your CAC, the difference between your CAC, I'll just put CAC D for the difference. We're going to do 50 minus 35 equals £15. So then when you go, it's like, oh, well, Dan, it's pretty obvious then we should just run a higher offer because we're going to make an extra, the difference between these, which is £6. Okay? But let's say, for example, just to make the maths simple-ish for me, what we can do is we'll say you're spending, let's say £1,000 a month. You're spending £1,000 a month on ads. So if I come down here let's see how many patients we're going to be getting at this point. So with option, let's just do it actually in option B. So if you do 1,000, which is your ad spend, divide that by 50, I won't put the pound symbol, equals 20, okay? So you're going to get 20 new patients. Now with this one, of the same ad spend, 1,000, divide that by 35, equals, let me just get the exact number. 1,000 divided by, hopefully this isn't a really obvious number that should be able to figure out. No, it's not. Okay, so it's 28.5, then 7, 28.57. So we're going to put it at, let's just, so we don't seem biased, let's just do it actually for at 28.5. Obviously you can't get a 0.5 of a patient, but you probably get what I mean here. Okay, now what you'll realise is if we do 20 times 80, it's going to be 1,600. I believe that's right. Yeah, 1,600. Okay, but then if we do 28.5 times 59, this equals, requires a calculator again, 28.5, 28.5 times 59 equals 1,681. Okay, so you're actually making more at this point. So you've already made more money. Okay, I'm back. So you can already see that you're already up 81 quid here, which is cool. But this isn't really the cool part yet. We're not really even at the main bit. So let's say, for example, you've got 20 people here. And let's say you're someone who's selling care plans of, let's just do 12 times 40. Let's say your average care plan is 480, okay? So classic sort of care plan. So 480. So let's say that, let's say your conversion rates are 60%. So this will be 12. So you're going to get 12. So you're going to get 12 new converted patients. I'm actually going to rub this bit out here that we did, and then I can have a bit more space. So this is going to be gone. Okay, so 12 converted patients. Okay, so that's a pretty good conversion rate. Is it all right? It could be better, obviously. So let's go 20. Let's do 12 times 480 equals 12 times 480 equals 5,700, sorry, 5,760, okay? This is what you made after. So you've made, this also shows how cool Facebook ads are, because then you can see actually the return on investment from Facebook, because you've made like over 7K from putting £1,000 in, which is pretty classic. You can do this sort of thing very easily. Now, okay, so that's cool. Not bad at all. Okay, so now let's say that you've got it at, let's say for example, you've got 28.5. Then let's say that your conversion rates are a little bit lower, which could happen with people who are coming through on a lower offer. So let's say it's you're 10 points less. I don't think it'd be exactly 10% worse. You'd be like, I think this would be being almost like 20% worse, but either way, we won't go to the maths too much. So let's do 50%. So let's do 28.5 times 0.5, which equals 28.5 times 0.5 equals 14.25. Okay, so now what we've got here is you're going to get an extra 2.25 more care plans, which is 480, which equals 2.25 times 480 equals 1,080. Okay, so that's the increased revenue you got by just doing a smaller discount. But also what you've got to remember is that you have an extra, there's more people coming in here, and that gives you multiple different things. One, it gives you more chance to get reviews. Another thing gives you more chance to get referrals. And also you can reactivate people, or they might even just go on to pay as you go. So there's huge benefit here where you're going to be able to increase your return on investment quite dramatically, actually. So this is the difference between, well, we could probably calculate this together. So overall with this one, if we do 1,600 plus 5,760 equals 1,600 plus 5,760 equals 7,360. Okay, not bad. So you've put £1,000 in to get 7,360, which as a ROI is a 1 to 7.36. Okay, so not bad. Okay, but then let's all the way down here. And let's do what we got here. So we got 1,681 plus, I mean, you've actually got the exact number of the amount of money we're going to make here. So if we do 14.25 times 480 to find out like overall how much money we make here. So we've got, do this down here. So we did 14.25 times the amount of care plan costs, which is £6,840. Okay, so we're going to do 1,681 and then plus 6,840 equals, so now I'm going to do plus, which equals 8,521. Okay, so now we've spent £1,000 to get 8,521, which means we're getting a 1 to 8.521. Okay, so you've got an extra, your ROI is increased by, well, it's a percentage here, it would be like roughly 15% maybe, 15% increase, 20% increase or so. I won't have that number exactly, I could work it out, but we won't. And that can make a really big difference. And all you've had to do is an extra 8 consults. And obviously, if your clinic is really, really dialed in, you might not even have a difference in conversion rate on the people coming in from option A and the people coming in from option B. And you can get the, obviously, pay as you go, the reviews, all of that compounding effect. Because if you watch my previous video where we talk about the way business works, which is like when you invest £1, and if you haven't watched it yet, I'd definitely recommend watching it. When you invest £1 and then you get a patient, and then that patient can then lead into another patient, that still applies to this. So that's why it's just like a big compounding effect, which is why most successful clinics will run offers. Now, I do want to preface that there is a caveat to this. If you are, and we do this with some of our clients, if you are a solo practitioner that does not want to get associates in your high volume, and so you have limited availability and you can do a few consults, we can add a lot more friction to your funnel. We can also make sure we're charging higher prices if we need to. so that you're only seeing the most high quality people possible. If you have associates, it makes sense to send them an extra 8.5 patients if you can. But if it's you on your own and you're already doing 200 visits a week, you do want to only see the creme de la creme of the people. So 20 would suffice, and then you can just convert them. But also the cool thing for you is that you're going to be able to get probably way more than £480, especially in lifetime value, because we didn't even do lifetime value here. It's like this all just was for care plan packages. So the numbers and return on investment that we've gone through here as well is like, it shows what you can do with Facebook advertising, or any type of advertising, but obviously I'm just speaking about Facebook, Instagram, because that's what we do. And hopefully that's helpful. And I really actually quite enjoyed going through that. Drop some comments or DM us on Instagram if you do have any questions about this, because I know it's not the easiest concept to grasp. It took me 17 minutes to explain this, but hopefully it was helpful, and it should have maybe potentially allow you to see the way you do marketing in a slightly different manner. It's also not binary, as another point. It's like you can do both. Test it, split test it, find the sweet spot for you in your practice. Look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Feel free to watch the previous one as well. Bye-bye. Peace.